Hello everyone, welcome to Jom Jam and Jup Jip channel again. Today we will talk in English. So welcome everyone to an English episode of Jom Jam and Jup Jip channel. I want to practice speaking in English because in my company that I'm working, we were not using English that much, so I want to speak more in English. Okay, let's start. Starting with a brief history of ships. At least 6,000 years ago, Egyptians were among the earliest shipbuilders. Unfortunately, there is no written records of its origin about who built the first boat. Historians agree that boats were being regularly used in history around 4000 to 3000 BC in an ancient Egypt. The Egyptians used boats to utilize the Nile River. Small boats were used for fishing and larger sailboats were used to help transport goods like grain, cattle, and building blocks. Most Egyptian boats were made from papyrus reeds, tightly woven together. They rowed by using paddles. Their sailboats had a square sail to help the boat more faster and make use of the wind, with oars to help steer. It was used for trading with other civilizations like Mesopotamia. The Egyptians created the first sailing cargo ships, which were used to transport heavy stones for building monuments. However, the wooden maritime ships that come to mind are credited to Phoenicians, an ancient Canaan civilization that are Syria and Lebanon for now. They're called galleys. These types of ships are believed to have been invented around 1150 BC. They were low and flat. They are powered by one or more sails with up to 3 banks of oars. These ships were commonly used for trading, warfare, and piracy. Not only after this, the Vikings began building narrow, long boats. These boats were used for river and sea voyage and set up to 60 men whose job was to row the ship with oars. Talking about Asian ships and Asian history, China also produced ships during the same period of Phoenicians in an ancient Canaan civilization or the ancient Chinese Zhou dynasty. Its vast land areas and poor road communications was turning to water for transportation. The Chinese started to join 2 canoes with planking and then formed a square punt or raft for the side. The bow and the stern were built up with planking to form a large, flat-bottomed wooden box. The bow was sharpened below the waterline. At the stern, Chinese shipbuilders invented a watertight box extending through the deck and bottom that allowed the steering or rudder to be placed to the center line, thus giving better control. In Western aspect, the Chinese junk was an excellent hull for seaworthiness. Big wooden vessel ships had been used by several different countries for transportation, trading, and battle. The design and construction of ships have come a long way since famous. Old ships like the Santa Maria traveled from Spain to the New World in 1492. By the 1800s, ships were being lined with iron and propelled by steam. which would later be powered by the burning of coal and then converted to diesel. In the 1900s, ships only continued to get larger and more luxurious. Today, ships are being used by the military for our defense, as well as for fishing, leisure, and sport. The second topic, we will talk about ships or cruise manufacturing process or production. First, design the detail of ships by drawing on paper. Scale down and put it in a designing program on a computer and print it out. Second, unfold the drawing on a plain shape. Third, lofting by making the model that we can cut actually and assemble based on the design drawing. Fourth, based on a model by lofting. NC cutting is the work to actually cut out the form of the parts from steel plates when it can be input, or we can input the data of the loft drawing into an NC cutting machine. It does the marking to fill in the name of the products or the constellation place of the parts at the same time. Fifth, bend the steel plate, pushing it with the press machine or heating the surface by a gas burner to match the model. In particular, as for the work to bend the smooth, curved surface by thermal processing, most are done by hand by the skilled craftsmen. Sixth, adopt the block construction method and divide the blocks according to their size. Seventh, assemble in the shipyard. Eighth, install and joint assemble blocks by right order on a building berth by a crane and assemble them in the form of the final ships. Ninth, fix them at the correct position. Needs serious technique and labor. 10th, paint it not only to improve the appearance of the ships but also to prevent it from corrosion. 11th, launch the ship to the public by floating it on the sea for the first time. 12th, equip the completed hull with pipes and engine and interiors and electric wires. Let the ship bore at the key. 13. Do each of the inspection for an equipment of hull fitting which completed steadily. 14th, apply performance tests such as vessel speed and returning by running a ship actually. 15th, confirm to be satisfied with the contracted specifications between the owner and our shipyard. 16th, check the operation and do the function test so that the apparatus shows original performance. Finish this trial run. 17th, delivery the ship. And the last topic for today, we will talk about shipbuilding manufacturing company around the world, starting with the United States of America because it has many shipbuilding companies and really large country that are Everglades Boat, Edgewater, Florida, General Dynamics, NASSCO, San Diego, California, Philly Shipyard Inc., Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Bennington, Elkhart, Indiana, Fincantieri Marine Group, Washington, District of Columbia, Bollinger Shipyards, Lockport, Los Angeles, Nautic Boat Company, Orlando, Florida, Asmar, Valparaiso, Mastercraft Boat Company, Vonore, Tennessee, Hatteras Yachts, New Bern, North Carolina, Malibu Boats, Loudoun, Tennessee. Regal Marine Industries Inc., Orlando, Florida. Vigor LLC, Portland, Oregon. Seaward Services Inc., New Albany, Indiana. And the other companies from the other country outside the United States of America are Hyundai Heavy Industry, South Korea, Daewoo Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering, South Korea, Samsung Heavy Industry, South Korea, STX Offshore and Shipbuilding, South Korea, Imabari Shipbuilding, Japan, Fincantieri SPA, Italy, JSC United Shipbuilding Corporation, Russia, China Shipbuilding Group, China, Sumitomo Heavy Industry, Japan, Mitsubishi Heavy Industry, Japan, Mazagon Dock Limited, India, Cochin Shipyard Limited, India, Harland and Wolff, Northern Ireland, Damen Shipyards Group, Netherlands, BAE System Maritime Naval Ships, United Kingdom. Everyone, that's it for today. If you want the content like this about mechanical things, scientific invention, transportation, or scientist biography, you can leave the comments below and I will research about it and do the video for you next time. Today, goodbye.